sit back, relax and enjoy the show.
The fairy tale is complete. The Central Coast Mariners, champions of Australia.
And a very good evening to one and all. A delayed kickoff at Amy Park this evening due to searing heat in Victoria. There you go, 37 degrees in Melbourne at the moment. And the temperature is starting to rise in the race for the Premiership and the finals as well. Melbourne City, of course, have been premiers 3 years in a row. But just reaching the finals this season is the goal after an off-season of transition. Wellington Phoenix have much higher goals. They are within sight of a first ever piece of silverware. And a win tonight would take them 6 points clear of the Central Coast Mariners in second and extend their unbeaten run to 11 matches. There's Alessandro Diamanti in the stands, currently part of the staff, of course, at Melbourne City. And good that he's wearing the pink jersey. It is the annual Pride round, of course, the weekend when the game celebrates its diversity and inclusive nature. Everyone is welcome at the football, regardless of colour, creed or sexual orientation. So if Wellington are to move clear of the pack, they will have to end one of the worst runs in the history of the competition. Not since 2013 have they beaten City at Amy Park. In those days, City were still Melbourne Heart, and Stein Houseghams netted the only goal. That remains their only victory at this venue against today's opponents. City are on a poor run though, no win in 5. But the Wanderers' defeat yesterday has just opened up a window of opportunity for those outside the top 6. And City know they must take advantage at home tonight, or run the risk of missing the finals for the first time in a decade. Now, City make 2 changes, and they are 2 big ones as well. Curtis Good and Jamie McLaren are both benched, as Aurelio Vidmar recalls Nuno Reis for his first start in over a month, and hands him the captain's armband as well, and gives Max Caputo his first A-League start in place of McLaren at the point of the attack. Matt Leckie, Marco Tilio and Scott Galloway are all still missing with injury. Terry Antonis and Andrew Nabuta on the bench, making 4 Socceroos in reserve for City. Just obscured by referee Alex King there is Max Caputo, who's played just 115 minutes off the bench this season. First A-League start for him, although he has started once in the Australia Cup and once in the AFC Champions League for City. Now, just the one change for the Wellington Phoenix. Costa Barbarouses makes his return to the starting 11 after a short injury layoff. Mohamed Altay drops down to the bench as Phoenix set up, we think, with a back 4 today. Finn Sermon, Lucas Kelly-Heald and Alex Paulson, 3 members of that back line, are all hoping for call-ups to the New Zealand squad to face Egypt, to be named next week. Oscar Zavada is missing again with injury. Nick Pennington, though, does return on the bench after recovering from a foot problem. Well, Costa Barbarouses loves this venue, doesn't he? Scorer of 19 goals at Amy Park, and if he scores tonight, he will move past Archie Thompson's 90-goal mark in 5th place on the all-time A-League goal scorers list. And he is the Phoenix's top scorer this season with 10. There's Aurelio Vidmar. It's been a real mixed bag for Vidi since taking over from Rado Vidicic. 6 wins, 5 draws, 6 losses. And City haven't gone 6 matches without a win since 2019. A very flamboyant shirt from Giancarlo Italiano, the Tinker Man in terms of tactics. He has operated several different systems this season, particularly away from home, where the Knicks have suffered just 1 loss, and that was to Sydney FC back in December. Referee today, Alex King from Queensland, game number 132 for the Queensland official. Andrew Lindsay and Joey Lee run the lines. Jonathan Barrero, the 4th official, and Lara Lee is in charge of VAR this evening. So Wellington Phoenix in the all-dark colours will get us underway. Unfamiliar conditions, of course, for the Kiwis. not sure it's too pleasant for the Melbourne City players in all honesty either, but let's hope we get a decent game of football, and the later kick-off does mean that at least the pitch is fully bathed in shade. So as they round the corner and hit the home straight, can City find some rhythm, or can Wellington open up that gap at the top once again? Should be a fascinating 90 minutes ahead, Phil Moss.
It certainly will be, Simon. Great to be alongside you for this one. It's been a stinking hot day, as has been well chronicled in the pre-game. Let's see if the temperature rises on the pitch, but Wellington just keep on keeping on. And Melbourne City really do need to find some form and some confidence. Big decision from Aurelio Vidmar today to leave Jamie McLaren on the bench.
And we were speculating as to whether that might be the first time he's ever been benched in his City career. A little bit of an early set-to between Božidar Krajev and Manis Jakulic. And that was the reason for it. James Jago's foul, which has earned Wellington a free kick.
He certainly brings some steel to that midfield, James Jago. Never walks off the football field wondering.
Alex Rufer almost getting in a bit of a mess, but good enough to get out of that little problem. City looking to press high early on and seize the initiative against the league leaders. Square ball by Scott Wootton, who hasn't missed a minute so far this season. For Wellington Phoenix, turned back by Finn Sermon. Sent forward by Wootton. Well protected by Božidar Krajev. Under serious pressure from Callum Talbot. Managed to keep both his balance and the ball.
And that's key to the way Wellington want to play, having that platform.
Now Rufer's ball over the top has found David Ball here. Costa Barbarouses in the middle. Support offered by Ben Old, who got a brace against Adelaide last week. That's well defended by Talbot.
Yeah, just having that platform of a Krajev and a David Ball who can really hold the ball up well and bring the midfield into the game, because the way Wellington like to play out from the back, Melbourne City are going to press that high, and at some point you need to play over that press. So you need that rock-solid foundation up front as the outlet, and they've done it very well on that last occasion.
And David Ball is such a willing runner, isn't he? He works so hard on behalf of his team.
Yeah, for me, a little bit unheralded for Wellington, the work that David Ball does. And
well, it's because he doesn't score goals, isn't it? It's, you know, normally Zavada or Krajev or Barbarouses. He's actually without a goal in 14 months, David Ball, in the competition. Last scored, funnily enough, against Melbourne City.
Is that an omen? Time will tell.
He contributes plenty of other things to this Phoenix side. This is Jakulic on the right, looking to sling in the cross. Of course, they've got that aerial presence of Max Caputo today. Leo Natel going to fire on it. Just created that little bit of space, which opened up the angle.
Good delivery from Jakulic early on. Just asking the question of that Wellington defence, had good tail on it. Max Caputo was there on the spot, didn't really get a chance to attack the ball, and then we see Natel's strike harmlessly to safety.
There's that attempted ball over the top, this time held up by Melbourne City, but Phoenix will start again. There was a pretty strong challenge on Salas in midfield, which the Phoenix felt might have earned a free kick, but Alex King happy to wave play on. And this is Arslan looking to thread the needle for Caputo. Without success.
I dare say there might have been some controversy around that had Melbourne City gone forward and scored. So I thought there was a foul in midfield on the Wellington players. Not given by Alex King, letting the game flow early.
I think it was the Costa Rica new signing Justin Salas who was bowled over, but Alex King seemed nothing untoward. Here's Tolgay Arslan for City. from Talbot, who has Jakalic wide right. Ugarkovic fetches it back for Nuno Reis. That's where it breaks down for Melbourne City. This is where they'll look to press, but Paulson happy to go long. Cyprian just about managing to get enough distance. There's pass back to Jamie Young. Good touch by Jakalic. Ugarkovic now might open up a bit for Tolgay Arslan. Salas across to meet him. Roll back for Jego. Natel. Fernandez. The new Chilean arrival at left back to replace Aziz Bayic. Nuno Reis is going to have a go here. Well, that would have been a collector's item. He has never scored in 71 previous matches ahead of today. And to be fair, that never really looked too likely, Phil Moss.
No, for two reasons. First of all, it didn't hit the target. And second of all, if it had hit the target, there's a very good goalkeeper standing in the way. From that distance, it would take something very, very special to beat Alex Poulsen.
The angle back towards Ugarkovic by Talbot. Cyprian. This is Leo Natel. Fernandez pushing forward on the overlap. Salas ensures that the ball doesn't reach him. And a foul on Rufer by Jego.
It's early days, Simon, but given the heat in Melbourne, there's been a pretty good tempo to the opening 6 or 7 minutes and good ball speed from both sides. Melbourne City are probably just shading the possession at this stage. So you just see that foul on Rufer. Took a bit of pressure off his side.
Well, this is the point in the season, of course, Mossy, where the games become ever more important because there's not too many of them left.
Yeah, spot on. Points become gold dust at this stage of the season. That result, as Zappa's mentioned in the pre-game to Western Sydney Wanderers last night, has just left the door just a little even more ajar.
It's a good steal by Kraev. Doesn't shirk his defensive duty. Sent down the line by Kelly Heald. Strong but fair challenge by Nuno Reis. It'll break here for Caputo. A bit strong, beautifully controlled by Tolgay Arslan. Steadied down for the Knicks by Wooten. And now Barbarouses with a chance to carry the ball forwards. Needed a bit of help and finds it through David Ball, who might have been foul there, and Alex King may well bring them back. Yep, the whistle goes. It's going to be a free kick for Wellington Phoenix.
Well, you want to know what class looks like. That touch from Arslan, although it didn't amount to anything, as we see this foul again. That touch from Arslan on the edge of the box, that is pure class.
Took all the pace off the ball, didn't he?
Incredible. Under immense pressure too, with no room to work with.
Sermon. It's a really good retrieval of the ball by Salas. And Tim Payne to continue the run, and he'll earn Wellington Phoenix a corner. Final touch off Vicente Fernandez. And there are some Wellington Phoenix fans in the crowd, as you can hear. There they are.
Fantastic, isn't it, to see them travel to support their side. Some good crowds at the Cape Tin for home games. Good to see them on the road as well.
Here's the corner, and a free hit here for Costa Barbarouses, but never really got hold of it.
Well, he didn't, but he should never have had that sort of space inside the box, Costa Barbarouses, from a Melbourne City point of view. No one really showing any urgency to go and close the ball down.
It was almost a corner in slow motion, wasn't it? By the time it reached Costa Barbarouses, he might be a bit disappointed he didn't do better with that.
With the space he has, Talbot tries to get there, but no real urgency to close that ball down. And we know Barbarouses is in some form this season.
Ten minutes played with a very hot Amy Park. Out off the head of Tim Payne. Another one will be hoping for that call up by Darren Baisley, the New Zealand national team, for that friendly against Egypt in late March. Squad to be named this week. Talbot. That's a return off Jakalic. Nice feet by Ugarkovic. Seen out at the top of the box by Justin Salas. City will come again. And Fernandez. Is that going to be a corner? It is. City's first of the game.
Well, he's disappointed, Barbarouses, he didn't get the decision there, but he shouldn't be disappointed with his effort. That was fantastic defending. Really stuck to his task.
Wellington only conceded one goal from a corner so far this season. That's how it was won. Jago. So far that corner hasn't amounted to too much. Nuno Reis. Ugarkovic. Talbot thought about the cross, change of angle. Ugarkovic. Rufer at the near post. They'll reset through Steven Ugarkovic again. Talbot. Near post was a chance for Leo Natel and fired over by Tolgay Arslan. Angle was pretty narrow, in fairness to him. But it was a good little sequence there by Melbourne City.
Very good. And not for the first time, Lucas Kelly healed. Wellington Phoenix left back just doesn't get tight enough to the ball carrier to shut the cross down. Although it was an acute angle, if there's one player on the pitch who could have executed that, it would have been Tolgay Arslan. A warning sign for Wellington.
He's had a super season, hasn't he? That little period of disruption aside after he got the 3-game ban for the red card against Perth. That's the Barbarouses again believing that Wellington Phoenix are not getting the rub of the green.
I think Alex King is saying it was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, in regards to who had hands on who.
Jago. Arslan falls back. 12 goals in 25 games in all competitions for Melbourne City for Tolgay Arslan. It's the first time in his career he's hit double figures.
He's also one of only 3 players in the league with 40 plus in both shots and created scoring chances, along with Joe Lawley from Sydney and Daniel Arzani from Melbourne Victory. So just such an influential player.
Leo Natel, good use of the body, and the cross is a bad either, and Max Caputo. That is an extraordinary point-blank save by Alex Paulson to keep him and City out. It was a wonderful cross from the Brazilian Leo Natel, and Caputo busted a gut to get on the end of it.
Brilliant action, wasn't it, from a wide area from Natel.
Here comes City again, and that's what the aerial presence of Max Caputo brings.
Yeah, it was real quality from Natel to pick him out, and then a real tussle between Max Caputo, I think it was Finn Sermon. Here it is here. Scott Wootton, actually, and a very good point-blank save by Alex Paulson. I spoke a little bit earlier about his quality. That's a very smart reflex save.
And here's the reason why James Jago has become the first name into the notebook this evening. Second caution since he arrived back in the A-League.
It's a long time to tread that fine line for a combative midfielder like James Jego.
Signed as a replacement for the now departed Hamza Saki. Pretty good piece of business by Aurelio Vidmar to get a player of his quality. Forward by Jugarkovic. And no pressure on Finn Sermon.
Just speaking of Aurelio Vidmar too, Simon, I wonder when Melbourne City will be looking to make a decision in the long-term future. I believe he's still interim. They'll be needing to start making some decisions about next season before too long.
Jugarkovic. Arslan. Leo Natel takes over. He's put in one or two decent crosses already. Arslan, and it took a deflection. Going to be a City corner.
Again, Melbourne City just starting to tighten the screws, turn the screws if you like. It's good defending. Really, you can't guess what's behind you. You've got to play what you see.
City doing all the pressing. Here's Jego. Arslan. Jego. Of course, Wellington Phoenix. Very adept at soaking up pressure. Remember early on in the season at Amy Park, they got a point out of a 1-1 draw against Melbourne Victory when they didn't have a single shot on target in the entire 90 minutes. Been very solid on the road this season. 5 wins, 5 draws, 1 loss. It's a sort of form that wins premierships. This is Leo Natel. Nice little fake and in towards the near post where Caputo was stationed. And it flashes wide of that right-hand upright. That combination has worked pretty well for City so far.
It is. Max Caputo is in the right place at the right time. It's only a matter of time before the quality of the likes of Natel and Jarkalic on the other side pick him out. But you're right, Simon, Wellington's form on the road wasn't that long ago that it was a real issue for them, but undefeated in 6 from their last 6 in Australia. 3 wins, 3 draws. Just shows the type of season that they're having under their first time senior manager. Giancarlo Italiano doing an absolutely brilliant job.
That's why they're 10 unbeaten. Well, they've been at the top of the Isuzu A-League men's ladder for 9 consecutive weeks. Jugarkovic. Shut down by Ben Olds, but there's no way forward for the Knicks. Talbot. Comfortably won back by Rufer, and now Ben Old to gallop forward at pace. Just didn't have enough of a trick to get around Nuno Reis, but he gets Wellington Phoenix further up the field.
Yeah, good defending from Nuno Reis as well. He just kept his composure, and he's played a lot of football of late, of course, so getting your timing right and your decision making is not easy. And he showed his experience there, and maybe that is why he's wearing the captain's armband today.
Free kick in favour of Wellington Phoenix. By the way, if the Knicks win today, it'll take them to 43 points. Their all-time club record is 46 in a regular season, which was set back in 14-15, the days of Ernie Merrick. It's a free kick. Nuno Reis just reaching around Bojidar Krajev.
Well, they're on track for 54 points this season, Simon. It's just phenomenal. They've averaged 2 points per game, 40 points from 20 games. It really is phenomenal, that the season that they're having.
Salas. And it goes off Samuel Suprayan. Scott Wood. That's clever. Rufer. Now it might open up for them. Triev's not going to quite have enough speed to keep pace with that ball. It's the right idea.
Certainly was. Great tactic from Wellington. Keep it in a tight area on one side of the pitch and look to open up with the switch of play. The surface is quite quick this afternoon. It was watered before kick-off as normal practice at most grounds in the A-League.
Spins up in the air off David Ball, who will chase any lost cause. Nuno Reis making 100% sure that he protected that ball by any means necessary.
Well, it's David Ball by name, Ball by nature. He will turn average balls into good balls and never give up a fight.
One in the air by Ben Old. City throw. And we are going to have a drinks break at that juncture, which I don't think the fans are too pleased about, but they're not the ones running around in 37 degrees temperatures. Let's go down to Michael Zapponi, who's got the sunscreen on and is no doubt sweating a bit tougher.
The Wellington Phoenix fans have got their own drinks break on. They're enjoying plenty of drinks, don't you worry about that. They've been fantastic so far this half, making plenty of noise, the travelling Knicks fans, and it's really interesting to see the tempo of that first half, as you mentioned, was very good in the first 20 minutes. It has dropped back a bit. The temperature now 35 degrees, but still quite oppressive. It's been a tough week for Marco Tilio as well. Melbourne City have had a really rough run with injuries in the last few weeks. Marco Tilio was chatting to him earlier. Looks like his hamstring injury could keep him out for anywhere between 4 to 8 weeks. So that is a huge blow for Melbourne City. Not only for Melbourne City, but of course for the Olyroos as well, who are preparing to qualify for the Olympic Games. And he'll be missing from that as well. Matthew Leckie was expected back today as well. I'm told he has gastro. He's still a chance to play on Tuesday. And then, of course, there's Jamie McLaren, the other Socceroo, who's on the bench. You touched on it earlier, Simon. Very rare that we see Jamie McLaren start from the bench. Just 7 goals to his name so far. When I say just, we're used to him scoring upwards of 20 goals a season sometimes, but hasn't been as prolific so far this season. And just wonder whether that news about him potentially joining Auckland has had anything to do with tonight's selection.
Good stuff, Zappa. Yeah, Jamie McLaren hasn't actually scored in any of his last 9 matches. One of his worst ever runs in the competition. His worst ever was 11, but that was in his first season in the competition when he was still a youngster with Perth Glory. That's transfer speculation continues to swirl around McLaren's name. And tonight he is watching on along with the rest of us. And Max Caputo has done pretty well so far in his maiden A-League start.
He certainly has, and as you said, I think in the opener tonight, he's only played about 115 minutes this season. It's his first A-League start, so finding rhythm and timing is always a challenge.
There's Leo Natel. Fernandez with the cutback. Caputo to try and protect it. Forced back out, City. Natel again, causing real problems. And it's Kelly Heald who helps it on its way out towards the sideline. This is Callum Talbot. There's no pressure on Tim Payne there, but decided not to take any chances.
Well, I think he knows if he took a touch, he would have been under immense pressure very quickly with Leo Natal, just waiting to see what the defender decided to do. He probably made the right decision, even though it's resulted in a corner to Melbourne City.
Tolga Arslan leaves for Vicente Fernandez. There's plenty of height ready to attack, including Supriyan, who's at back post. It's Leo Natel underneath it. Not totally away. Yakulish still there for Melbourne City. Scott Wharton gets good distance on that clearing header. And City will have to start again through James Jago. Talbot. Little short ball from Nuno Reis. Clever ball from Arslan. Flicked through by Ugarkovic. Caputo held up by Paulson. Wellington hanging on a bit, and that's wide off the boot of Yakulish, who is claiming a corner, but he's going to be disappointed.
What a piece of magic from Arslan. Look at that. You only see the tail end of it there. Just a brilliant killer pass. No look almost. Which set a gilt-edged chance up for Melbourne City. It's a good run again from Caputo. Just in behind, and he knows the quality of Arslan. If he makes a run, the ball will be delivered.
Credit to Alex Paulson, who was out smartly to smother that effort from Max Caputo. Continuing the fine campaign that he's having. Well, nothing too much as yet from the league leaders at this end of the ground, as in the Melbourne City half of the pitch. Just that one fleeting moment for Costa Barbarouses. Slight miscue by Ugarkovic. He's got away with that one. For all the pressure that City have put on the league leaders, they haven't been able to find a way through, and goals have been a problem this season. 29 scored, only Western United have scored fewer. Too high for ball. Jago to get City moving forward again. Tolga Arslan leaves it for Leo Natel. Fernandez on the overlap. And the Chilean has overhit the cross by quite some distance.
Yeah, they were building some nice pressure there. Wellington probably trying to play forward too early on that last build-up. Gave the ball back to Melbourne City. It's not the delivery that Fernandez was looking for on the overlap.
Signed on loan from the Argentine club Talleres in January to replace Aziz Bayic. Just the second Chilean in the A-League after Pablo Contreras, who played for Melbourne Victory. Here's Ben Old, and he's got David Ball outside him. Here is Ball. Barbarouses waits at the far post. Still David Ball. City got numbers behind it to block.
Just for a split second there, I thought it was opening up for David Ball. He took a very good first touch inside his defender. I thought he was going to unleash. He decided to take another touch, and then the chance was gone. A good opening for Wellington.
Second time these teams have met this season. They met at Mount Smart Stadium back in November of last year, and Božidar Krajov is on the ball here, got the winner that day. One of 8 clean sheets that the Phoenix have kept this season. If you're not conceding, you're not losing. Kriev waiting for the run of Kelly Heald. This went with the outside of the boot. And Costa Barbarouses needed it with the instep.
Exactly right. He knows it too. He started to make his run, Barbarouses. I think Kriev took another touch and he thought, well, I'll just peel off, and then the delivery was all wrong.
Half an hour played. Less a minute or two, of course, for the drinks break. Jamie Youngusnap had an awful lot to do, sent the ball forward. That's clever from Benold. He is so sharp at the moment. The youngster that Giancarlo Italiano believes there should be a lot more hype about. Maybe he's right.
Yeah, look at this. This is brilliant. Not just from a skill perspective, belief, and as you said, Simon, sharpness as well.
4 goals and 3 assists for the Phoenix player this season. Just 21. Here's Kelly Heald.
You can see how much work Italiano does with his players as well in build-up, because they're playing it short at the back, but their starting positions are absolutely key. And that is hours and hours of work on the training pitch, just to make sure your starting positions create not just the angle, but take a pressing player out with a simple pass of the ball.
Talking of which, that's a really good release for Barbarouses, and steaming forward here is Justin Salas. And he didn't quite make the right connection, the Costa Rican, but it was a good burst forward by the Knicks.
Excellent. Another example of how they're playing out from the back in build-up. And Justin Salas, he just couldn't sort his feet out then. It was as if he took the ball in too quick a stride. He wasn't sure whether to use his left or right foot, inside or outside. Here it is again, Barbarouses breaking down the right-hand side, plays it inside to Salas, and you can see he's trying to connect with the outside of his right foot, never gets the purchase.
Sent forward by Wotton, and Nuno Reis clattering into the back of David Ball. Rather rudimentary challenge from the Portuguese defender.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't an accident either. He knew exactly what he's doing, Nuno Reis, just letting David Ball know he's not going to give him an inch of space this afternoon if he's got any say in it. Those challenges don't tickle either. Whiplash is an injury that comes to mind.
Yeah, knocks the stuffing out of you for a moment or two. Salas. Nice little threaded ball through for Ball. Barbarouses with Payne outside him, but good intervention from Fernandez. Backed into a bit of a corner here. Salas. Oh, it's the right idea, wasn't it? Leon Natel was back there helping out, and then there's a foul and a card for Salas for upending James Jago. Not been a good couple of minutes for the Costa Rican.
No. You can see there he goes, almost in with the scissors. Really, Alex King had no choice. It was late, it wasn't vicious or overly dangerous.
It's his second yellow card in 4 appearances for the Knicks. Third Costa Rican to represent the club after Carlos Hernandez. Great Carlos Hernandez and Kenny Cunningham back in the day.
Carlos Hernandez.
There's a name to conjure with.
Wow.
That's a lovely release for Jakalic. Behind him is Talbot. That was a teasing delivery, but beyond Caputo, and again Tim Payne sweeps it behind for a corner.
And not for the first time we've seen that play down the right-hand side. Jakalic getting forward, cutting it back for Talbot. And then this early delivery with really good tail on it. Patel deciding to wait for the crumbs at the back post rather than attack the back post.
City have made most of the running, but post-drinks break have not really tested Alex Paulson. Actually, I'll tell a lie, they had one chance, didn't they? Max Caputo.
Off the Arslan pass. Very smart save.
The chance is not quite as free-flowing as they were. See if they can fashion something here. Helped on towards Leonatel, but Kelly Heald should be able to sort that particular problem out for the Knicks, which he does. Chested down by Ball. Jankovic got a foot in. Ricochets away towards the Phoenix goal. Supriyan. And Alex Rufer, sorry, not Rufer, Payne, causing a bit of pain for his opponent.
Yeah, he definitely catches Jakalic late on both the ankle and maybe the chin. I don't think there's much in the chin bit, but definitely the ankle.
Tim Payne's having none of it, is he?
Not a bar of it. Come on, toughen up. Such a competitor, Tim Payne, isn't he?
He's also contributed 4 assists down that right-hand side this season as well. Very versatile player. And in so many different positions. Here's a chance perhaps for City, but it won't stick for Caputo. It's really well defended by Finn Sermon. And Phoenix get the throw. So as part of our triple header from the Isuzu Ute men's competition today. Games coming up later. The original rivalry, Adelaide-Melbourne victory, and Perth-Newcastle is the late game. Wellington want a foul there, but nothing doing, says Alex King. Little slip by Payne, and City are away. It's Tolgay Arslan. And it's straight into the gloves of Alex Paulson.
There again, it's all Arslan just finding that half a yard of space on the edge of the box. It's a warning sign for Wellington because the quality of this Melbourne City front line, with Arslan pulling the strings just in behind it, you want to give them too many sighters.
So far, their goal remains intact. They've conceded just 7 first-half goals all season. Wellington Phoenix. You won't be surprised to learn that's the lowest out of any team in the competition. He's having a fine campaign. So much so, Mossy, the European rumour mill is starting up already over Alex Paulson. Understandably so as well.
Yeah, look, he's got a lot of boxes that he ticks when you look ahead at the career that he could have in front of him. He's definitely had a breakthrough season with the belief of his coaching staff, keeping Jack Duncan on the bench.
His distribution is solid there as well, finding Kelly Heald. Rufer. Sermon. Salas. Little lifted ball. Looking for that run of Kraev, but Nuno Reis had its measure. Now Arslan for City. Caputo linking up with Jakalic, who's switched over to the left-hand side. There's nobody in the middle for him, though. Has to wait for the runners. And the chance has gone as quickly as it appeared. Just a little slow to push up in support of Jakalic there. Fernandez's cross headed purposefully away by Wotton. And here's Costa Barbarouses on the move for the Knicks. Bojidar Kraev is trying to get up to give him an option in the middle. Here is Bojidar Kraev. Angle wasn't really there. Ben Old! Oh, and that's a fine fingertip save, is it? By Jamie Young. I thought he got a touch on that. Alex King says goal kick.
At first glance, so did I. I thought that was a wonderful reaction save, but you see Costa Barbarouses causing problems down that right-hand side. It looks as though he did miss the target, Ben Old, but gee, it had some power behind it. I think had it been on target, Jamie Young was in the right place to get his fingertips to it.
I must admit, my first thought was that Jamie Young had got a fingertip to that, but Alex King is a lot closer than I am. City have had 10 shots. Phoenix just the 4.
And that was a fantastic matchup then, Young v Old. That sounds like a training game.
And yet, in terms of their ages, it's the other way around, isn't it? Young is old and old is young.
Stop confusing you, Solomon.
That's a foul by Leo Natel. Alex King just going to have a little word with the Brazilian. Just cut that out, please, Leo. Now a bit of room for Barbarouses. Wasn't the right option, really, to try and give it back to Salas. And City look to spring forward quickly. Arslan for Jakalic. This time there are two in the middle to try and pick out. Might go himself. It's challenged down by Wotton, and there are 1 or 2 appeals for handball. Particularly, is it Steven Ugarkovic had his arms out wide and trying to have a conversation with Alex King.
It certainly had some venom behind it. A strike from Jakalic. Interesting to see if VAR has a look in the next break in play.
And we do check all those incidents, of course. Here's Jago. Arslan. Talbot. Little dink looking for Caputo. Tim Payne has time to assess his options, but he's given the ball straight back to City. One back again. Slung in by Jakalic. Wotton sees it out. And Phoenix just a little bit slow then to react to the fact that City were back in possession. Arslan. Tough conditions for the players today. Even though, as Michael Zapponi reported, temperatures have dropped a little bit. It's still around the mid-30s. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication between Sermon and Paulson.
It's not just the temperature when you're out there either, Simon. It's sitting at the hotel all day knowing that it's stinking hot outside. Getting yourself mentally prepared, trying to make sure that the thoughts of the heat don't take away your energy before you walk out of the hotel to head to the ground.
City's 5th corner of the game. Vicente Fernandez on on set-piece duty. The outswinger, and Nuno Reis attacking it, away by Wootton, helped further clear by Ben Old. Talbot has time to assess the options. Arslan. Clever little ball again from Arslan. Back in field by Leo Natel. Tolga Arslan, very much the architect for City. To 2 additional minutes at the end of the first half. Here's a chance for Jakalic. Would sit for him, and then Jago snatched at the opportunity. And Phoenix survive another raid.
And Wellington with plenty of numbers to defend the situation, but it has been a feature of this first half, the defending of Finn Sermon, Scott Wootton inside their box. Look at the pressure put on the ball. On that occasion it was Salas with a real intensity to close the ball. But the battle between Wootton and Sermon up against Max Caputo has been a real feature of this game, because Caputo's been making some good runs, he's been doing some good work. Sermon and Wootton are taking it personally. They're not giving him a sniff at the moment.
Into the final minute of the first half, and the players will be glad to get back into the air conditioning of the dressing rooms and take the fluids on board. Sermon back for Paulson, and now Wootton. Second ball is the cry from Aurelio Vidmar, and City do end up with possession. Jago. Might be time for one final attack. Arslan. And the threaded ball through. Big chance here. Leo Natel to square it. And Wellington survive again. Dogged determination to keep the ball out has paid dividends again for Giancarlo Italiano's side. And that is half-time at Amy Park. A very warm Amy Park. It's been a good contest for all that. City with the lion's share of the attacking opportunities. Double figures in terms of shots. And they've found it impossible so far to find a way past Alex Paulson at the other end. Just a couple of chances. One for Barbarouses, one for Old for Wellington Phoenix. But the league leaders go in at the break with their goals still intact. Melbourne City 0, Wellington Phoenix 0 at half-time. And our half-time show is coming up next. Stay with us.
Police for further questioning. A financial fine will also be issued. We ask you to respect your fellow spectators tonight by refraining from illegal and dangerous activity. celebration of diversity and inclusivity. The A-League is super pumped to continue its Pride celebrations this weekend in Australia and over in New Zealand on March 30. We thank our fans tonight here at Amy Park for your continued support to help make people accessible, inclusive, and safe for all. All right, everyone, let's kick off our halftime break tonight and welcome our Atkins halftime heroes. Can you please give them a huge round of applause? Let's make them feel welcome. Listening City fans, will you be Melbourne City's newest signing? Melbourne City and McDonald's are partnering up and giving 8 lucky footballers, 4 boys and 4 girls, the chance to become Melbourne City's latest player signing. Not only will you be able to visit the brand new City Football Academy at Casey Fields and experience the first day routine of a brand new player,
And Geordie Boss with his very first international goal. Here's Jackson Irvine. It's there for Australia. Jackson Irvine. Goodwin. Craig Goodwin on the volley.
Welcome to the Hungry Jacks halftime show here at Amy Park. It's Melbourne City and Wellington Phoenix all tied up at halftime. An entertaining first half of football. Plenty of chances for both sides. Wellington Phoenix may be top of the table, but Melbourne City, currently sitting in 8th, are certainly taking it to the ladder leaders. Some great chances. Max Caputo involved early as well. Probably the best chance for Melbourne City. Plenty of highlights. Phil Moss and Simon Hill.
Yeah, it was a pretty good contest. Thanks very much, Zappa, this first half, despite the heat, as evidenced here by the Harvey Norman highlights, Phil Moss. And Melbourne City have had most of the good openings, but that defence for Wellington Phoenix, we've been saying it all season, they've kept 8 clean sheets. They are very difficult to score against.
They certainly are. They get numbers in the box, and the desperation, the intensity to defend the ball and on the front foot is very, very good. But Melbourne City have been asking some chances. That man there, Max Caputo, has been central to the opportunities that they've created, and Arslan and Natel with the creativity and the delivery, if you like.
As Leo Natel again feeding Max Caputo, but his effort turned the wrong side of the right-hand upright. And that was pretty much the pattern of this first half. Tolga Arslan is such a good player, isn't he? He finds those little angles that other players can't. Yeah,
he sees it ahead of time, and then he's got the execution to deliver the ball on a sixpence for the runners, and Caputo knows he's just going to make the runs. But Wellington have had their opportunities as well, mainly down the right-hand side with Costa Barbarouses central. There's a chance to Salas, couldn't quite get the power on the strike that he was looking for, but another break down the right-hand side. Barbarouses showing his pace, and then he plays in the ball to the far post to Ben Old. It's Crave on that occasion, but Ben Old has this opportunity there, and he just doesn't hit the target. We thought it was a good save at first from Jamie Young, but looks like Old just missed the target.
Well, there we go. The first half, a stalemate. Melbourne City's numbers look the better, and that's the way it felt. 14 attempts on goal, but there we go. Just 3 of those on targets. 5 corners to 1, but we've seen these sort of stats before involving games with Wellington Phoenix. And, well, it's one thing beating them in those sorts of numbers, but it's the numbers at the very top that matter. So let's have a look at one of the key players, and we picked him out pre-game. Mossy, Tolga Arslan, such good balance, such great vision.
Yeah, we just missed that touch there, but it was unbelievable on the edge of the box under pressure. But everything that they do from a creative point of view has those 2 players central to it. Yakalish on the right-hand side sometimes as well. But Arslan, if they keep giving him those sighters, it won't be long before he either picks the defence apart with a killer pass or finds the back of the net himself, and you can't let him run at you like that. That's a warning sign right there. He didn't get the purchase on the strike, but the more chance he gets, he will score one.
Yeah, he's a player, of course, who was playing in Italy's Serie A last season. He's not at the top of the Paramount Plus player index, marks, though. That honour at half-time at least goes to Leo Natel, who's certainly been busy in the opening 45. Alex Paulson with a couple of good saves in second. And Steven Jugarkovic has been pulling the strings along with Arslan in midfield. He is in third at the moment. Let's have a look at Leo Natel then. He's the winger that came in, well, nominally as a replacement for the injured Andrew Naboot. Naboot is back, but he's keeping him on the bench at the moment.
Yeah, he's a sharp player, and we can see there he's got really good delivery, but the way he burns a defender, just with that change of pace, and he's aware of what's around him. He knows he's got the quality of Arslan, always floating in and around the area that he's in. But look at that for sharpness. And then he finds Caputo at that near post. And again, that's been a really key battle in this first half, Tim Payne and Natel.
Yeah, a former junior at Benfica, Leo Natel. He's not scored for the club since that 8-1 win against Brisbane back in December, but he's been pretty influential in the first half. Zappa, back to you.
Yeah, fantastic summary, gents, and plenty more football coming your way tonight across the screens of 10. Perth Glory in action late tonight, but in about 20 minutes from now, the original rivalry kicks off. You can catch that on 10 Bowl. Let's get a preview from that one. Bruce Ute and Lucas Ronaldo are at Hindmarsh Stadium for us.
Yes, the original rivalry, always a fiercely contested encounter. Bruce, you've played in plenty of them. Two guys that won't be tonight, of course, Ryan Kiddo and Stephen Moore, laid outs for the Reds.
And Isaias as well. It really is a depleted squad in a game where if Adelaide United don't win, they can probably kiss their finals chances goodbye. So a huge test for the team.
We know what it means for Adelaide United. What about for the victory? Do you think if they don't win tonight, that top two is going to get really, really difficult?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, this is a must-win game for both teams for different reasons. One, just to make the finals, and obviously for victory. They still be looking at that Premier's plate, if not certainly a top two spot. So a huge game for them. They're going to want to take all 3 points against their arch rivals.
And what have you made of Melbourne in the past few weeks? Of course, they started so strong, but it seems like things are starting to get a little bit tricky.
Things have started to slow down for them in sense of they're not picking up the points they were previously. Draws aren't too bad in the A-League because there's only 12 teams. A draw's not going to really punish you, but if you back that up with losses, which Victory have done in the past month or so, you know, that's where you do start to slip down the ladder. So, as I said, huge game for Melbourne Victory, especially as they look up to climb up that ladder.
Yeah, Bruce, should be an absolute ripper. Of course, you can catch it all live on 10 Bold and Paramount Plus.
Yeah, thanks, gents. Can't wait for that one. That one kicks off in about 20 minutes from now. Adelaide United versus Melbourne Victory. That never disappoints. Plenty more action later tonight too, with Perth Glory in action right after that one. And as we go to the break, don't forget the Australian Formula One Grand Prix right here in Melbourne. That's not too far away. That was the Hungry Jacks halftime show.
F1 is all about the need for speed.
And it's lights out and away we go.
Wheel-to-wheel action at 330 kilometres an hour.
Around the outside goes Max Verstappen.
And it's coming to Network 10.
And into absolute chaos on the restart.
We'll bring you all the action from on and off the track as Albert Park hosts the world's best.
What a moment in Melbourne.
It's the Formula One Rolex Australian Grand Prix, live on Network 10.
screen, you can see some of the stars of the Isuzu Ute A-League men and Liberty A-League women showing us how to live it up in a brand new Isuzu coming around the stadium in about 15 seconds time is the Isuzu Drive Cam. Get ready to hashtag DMAXDance. Here we are, City family. This is, of course, one of our favourite things to do at half-time. You can see up on the big screen now, 2 giant steering wheels. These guys are going to show us how it's done. Grab the steering wheel and go for a drive and show us how you can lift it up in a brand new Isuzu MUX or Isuzu D-Max. There you are, City family. No one was safe here at Amy Park from our roaming cameras. Keep your eyes peeled to the big screen. There you are. Cheap Birds being put down at half-time. That's what we love to see. So much energy from these two. There we are. Put your eyes off the big screen here at half-time. All right, now grab the steering wheel and go for a drive. That's how you do it. Find the balance between excitement and adventure in the 7-seat Isuzu MUX. Isuzu Ute.
Well, the team's starting to emerge ahead of the second half. Big 4 days for Melbourne City. They've got that game against Western Sydney Wanderers at Amy Park on Tuesday night. But first they've got to deal with the league leaders, Wellington Phoenix, for whom a draw will ensure that they will stay top of the Isuzu Ute A-League men's ladder for another week and make it 10 weeks in a row. And after today's game, 4 of their last 6 are at home in New Zealand. So big 45 minutes coming up for both teams. Melbourne City without a win in each of their last 5 matches, just 3 home wins all season, and looking to maintain a proud record of not having missed the finals since they had the name change from Melbourne Heart to Melbourne City. 13-14 was the season when they last didn't make the finals. They are outside the 6 at the moment, and despite their first half dominance in terms of chances created, they have not been able to find a way through. Let's see if that's about to change over the next 3/4 of an hour. No changes made, it would appear, by either coach at the break. And Melbourne City preparing to get us back underway. So goalless between the two. And just how big in the context of both seasons, Phil Moss, is this next 45 minutes?
Well, it's huge for Melbourne City, probably more so than it is for Wellington. They've got a little bit of breathing space, of course, although that won't register in their minds. They'll want the 3 points this afternoon, of that there's no doubt. But Melbourne City really need to get a move on.
Garkovic trying to get goal side of Lucas Kelly-Heald. Easier said than done. He's a big boy. A reminder of the 2 teams that started play today. 2 big changes made by Aurelio Vidmar. Curtis Good left on the bench with Nuno Reis preferred, and Jamie McLaren left on the substitutes bench as well, with Max Caputo starting at the point of the attack. Middle angle ball looking for Garkovic at the top of the box, which didn't quite work out for City. And David Ball's been chopped down from behind by Steven Ugarkovic. As for Wellington, just the one change for them today. Costa Barbarouses back in from the off after his little injury problem at the expense of Mohamed Altay. That's a poor touch by Salas. Diego. Nicely angled ball for Ugarkovic. Stolen on the blind side by Ben Old. We'll now look to get the visitors moving forward the other way. Cyprian there. And now Jago. Arslan. Talbot. No pressure on the cross of the ball, and it sits nicely here for Max Caputo. He's looking to hit it on the spin, if you like. Always awkward to control.
He's only had that one, what you would call a clear-cut chance in that first half, that Poulsen pulled off a good save from the Arslan pass. He's been there or thereabouts, Caputo. The signs I'm seeing tonight is he just needs games, he needs to play, which makes it very interesting. Obviously, on Jamie McLaren sitting on the bench.
He's only 18 years of age. Max Caputo became City's youngest ever scorer when he got his so far only A-League goal, which came against the Newcastle Jets. That was last season. Here's Leo Natel. Little dink over the top for Fernandez, and it's going to be a corner off Tim Payne. And Fernandez has stayed down. Only momentarily for City.
I don't think there's any contact there. I just wonder if he slightly rolled his ankle and made that overlapping run to deliver the cross. He seems all right.
Instructions being given to James Jago in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Little note spin pass to the Melbourne City midfielder, which he tucks into the back of his shorts and takes possession of the football. Square of him is Leo Natel. Well, let's call it optimistic.
Scott Jamieson, that is definitely optimistic, by the way. Let's not sweep that one under the carpet, but Scott Jamieson taking to coaching like a duck to water, delivering some notes. I do remember being booked for that as an assistant coach at the Central Coast Mariners once upon a time.
Barbarouses trying to get between Cyprian and the ball, and Phoenix have pinched it. It's Barbarouses. On the right is Salas, the cutback. Controlled by Barbarouses. Couldn't quite set himself for the shot. There was a moment's panic there in the Melbourne City defence, and there might be so again. Arslan dispossessed. He felt he was tackled from behind. Bozidar Krayev trying to weave his way through. And Jago sorts that out. Back it comes for the drive from Alex Rufer. And as always, looking to drift away from that right hand upright, but a little bit more promise from the league leaders.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a laboured strike in some ways from Alex Rufer. He's never really going to trouble Jamie Young, even though he went for the spectacular. It was just a slight warning fired across the bow of Melbourne City. And we know they're capable. And that's the thing with Melbourne City, for the possession that they've had. 58%, 16 attempts to 6, 3 to 1 on target. They know that if they don't take one or two of those, Wellington are capable of putting one in down the other end.
Throwing came off the head of Alex Rufer, who, by the way, has just been nominated this week for Wellingtonian of the Year, along with our very own Jason Pine. Congratulations to Piney. Alex Poulsen in line for the Young Wellingtonian of the Year as well.
No, they've given me the...
Turned back by Payne. Nifty bit of footwork from Poulsen. And the Knicks are out of that little spot of bother. And now looking to charge forward. Bozidar Krayev. Barbarouses on the right. This looks really promising for the Knicks. Salas. And the challenge from Reyes had to be clean. And in fairness to him, there was no appeal for a penalty by Houston Salas.
No, there wasn't in the final wash-up. I can't help but think he was maybe searching for some contact there. Nuno Reyes needed to be clean, and he was. A really gilt-edged moment. He's on the replay, screen on screen.
I think he just falls over, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Justin Salas.
He's been flirting with the yellow card there.
David Ball chopped down again. It's not for the first time tonight. I think that's the point that Wellington are making.
Yeah, race at the centre of everything at the moment for Melbourne City. Surprised he didn't find his way into the book for that one.
I think the Phoenix were basically saying if it's not for that foul, it should be for accumulation of fouls. But anyway, he's escaped the sanction. And this is Salas. Almost overrun it. Barbarouses. Rufer. Kelly Healds. Phoenix have pushed a few numbers forward for this attack. Little chip by Rufer. Held at bay by Talbot. And Caputo. Maybe about to set up a Melbourne City attack. There's no foul, shoulder to shoulder. Here's a judge by Alex King, and it's Melbourne City's turn to complain.
The one thing that does start to go when you're playing in the heat is patience. And as frustration builds and there is no score, you can bet your bottom dollar that those patience will be tested of both sets of players. There's Crave getting back shoulder to shoulder. I'm reasonably happy with that. Alex King, thank you very much. Keep the game flowing.
Ben Ol was looking to find Salas, and he's done so through an inadvertent touch by Leo Natel, but wasn't good enough to take advantage of it. And mistakes just starting to creep in from both teams, maybe temperature related.
Yeah, and you couldn't blame the players for that, especially the high workload players. Those wide areas, midfield players. You just wonder how long it'll be before either coach looks along their bench. I think that'll be key to the result today as well, Simon.
Well, you look at the Melbourne City bench and they've got such strength in depth. As I mentioned at the start, 4 Socceroos in reserve. They've been McLaren, Naboot, Antonis and Curtis Good. And Giancarlo Italiano has the best defence in the competition. This is Kraev. Payne. There's the City subs, or some of them anyway. Meantime, Costa Barbarouses has shown City defence a clean pair of heels, at least in the first instance. Now it's with Suprian and Talbot. Outside him is Jakolic. Wellington now have dropped back into their defensive shape. See if City are good enough to find a way through. Tolgay Arslan. Nice little ball for Ugarkovic, and set up nicely for him. Bit disappointed he perhaps didn't hit the target at least. Yeah. Alex Paulson make a save.
That's right, we know he's capable. Nice little slip pass from Arslan. It was probably the second touch that killed the opportunity for Ugarkovic then. The first one had set up beautifully. A little snap volley.
It's a good climb by Ball, and Ben Old is hassling and harrying Callum Talbot, who's good enough to get out of that little sticky situation. Nuno Reis sends it forward for Tolgay Arslan. What a ball by Arslan, and it needed that touch. Wellington not out of jail just yet, and it's driven in with pace. Not to any great effect by Vicente Fernandez.
Well, huge credit to Salas here. Look at that for defensive work. He's got Natel bearing down on him. Almost a perfectly weighted pass from Arslan. And Salas really had to be alert and stick to his defensive responsibilities there, and he does it brilliantly. There's a strike from Fernandez. Never really going to trouble Paulson.
We are told that, sorry Mossy, that Wellington are preparing changes. More on that in a moment. Here's Leo Natel. Look at that for a ball from the Brazilian, futsal style. He just toe poked that into space for Arslan.
Oh, it was brilliant, wasn't it? It's like when you're around the green and you've just got your pitching wedge. Just puts it into an area. Look at that, beautifully weighted into the path of Arslan. Kraev doing his job.
Corner number 7 for City. But they need a goal. Lengthy conference going on between Fernandez and Arslan. Now they're not happy with how far Barbarouses is away from the ball. Arslan. And back post, easy as you like, for Samuel Cyprien to give Melbourne City the lead. Just shy of the hour mark. It's his first goal in City Blue, and how important could that be for Aurelio Vidmar's side?
Well, a brilliantly worked set piece on the Harvey Norman replay. Put that down to the architecture of Arslan, because he had that conference. He changed the angle of his approach for his second touch to stay on side because there was no one on the line for Wellington, and then the delivery to the far post gives Cyprien what will be, for a player of his quality, a reasonably simple finish, because every other player had been taken out of the play by that delivery from Arslan. Absolutely superb, Melbourne City.
Well, the 35-year-old, one of many new arrivals in the off-season for Melbourne City. Took a little while to settle it, and now he's got his first goal. And after all that pressure, Melbourne City finally have the breakthrough. And here's one of those changes for Wellington Phoenix that we alluded to before the goal. And Mohamed Altay is to replace Justin Salas. Like for like, one midfielder for another. It's his 49th appearance in the competition, the former Western Sydney Wanderer and Newcastle Jet, and he comes on with the league leaders having to chase the game. And there's that miserable record at Amy Park about to cost them potentially the league leadership. Still a way to go here. Ben Olds trying to find Kraev at the back post. It'll drop here for Payne. A little nudge by Leo Natel is enough for the whistle to blow. What a fascinating final half an hour we got now.
Oh, brilliant. We felt for a while that something's been bubbling to the surface. It's a set piece that's broken this game open.
Tim Payne to deliver the free kick. Jamie Young barking the instructions. There's a whole cluster of players ready to make their move into the right sort of area. Up and out by Nuno Reyes. This is Rufer. Wellington forced all the way back to halfway, where Ben Old will look to get them moving forward again. Payne, the give and go was on, but Barbarouses not quite accurate enough. Cyprien to put his boot through it. Boshadar Kraev breaking the challenge of Jago. Payne doing likewise from Natel. We've mentioned Mossy with good reason, those clean sheets that Wellington have kept this season, but Melbourne City actually haven't conceded a goal at home since December, which was in their 8-1 victory over Brisbane Roar.
That's a record you can be proud of from a defensive point of view, there's no doubt about that. It certainly hasn't yielded enough points for them, though.
That's been the problem. Too many draws, particularly at home. Another cheap foul given up by Leo Natel.
You could see when that goal was scored, Arslan ran straight to the bench, and it just shows the amount of work that's done on set pieces in the modern game. He sized up the situation so well because Wellington didn't have anyone on the line, so if he'd have played the short pass as they were going to, he would have been called offside, but he changed the angle of the run-up and then his run to make that delivery, which made all the difference.
Now here's David Ball. Wellington keen for an equaliser. Payne. Ball in position for the return and onside. The cutback is only partly cleared by Nuno Reis. Here's a chance, Bojidar Kraev. Well, he was leaning back as he snatched at the opportunity. And Wellington have got to come out and play now.
Yeah, they do, and that's a good sign for them. They fashioned that chance. But you can see Kraev here from the ball from Payne. It's almost like he's in two minds whether to take it on his chest and volley on the full or let the ball come down first. It doesn't come down quick enough for him.
I think it's come off the shin, hasn't it? Leo Natel takes his leave. Andrew Naboot is with us for the final half an hour.
Yeah, really, Vidmar's smelling blood in the water. Time. Fresh Andrew Naboot on.
Jago. Fernandez. Yakalish, who's popped up on the left again. Looking to float it towards Naboot at the back post. It'll be a corner off Kelly Heald. Young central defender who's having a real breakthrough season for the Phoenix. Worked in a cinema selling popcorn before signing on for the Knicks.
Now people are buying popcorn to watch him play football.
I'll set them up, you knock them over, Mossy. Naboot. Straight at Rufer. Just on the goal, Mossy, any blame that can be laid at the door of Alex Paulson? He seemed to get caught in two minds a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure goalkeeping experts will probably ping him for something, but for me it was the class of the delivery and the angle, the different angle that Arslan created for himself. It was just brilliant match management to have a player out there that can size that situation up and know that they have to change something and then execute it with the brilliance that he did to make all the difference.
City going, hunting for a second goal. Naboot up against Kelly Heald. Jago. Leaves it for the conductor of the orchestra, Tolgay Arslan, and the cross goes all the way across the face of goal, where it will be retrieved by Yakalish. Arslan just searching for that top corner, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, but I think what let Melbourne City down on that occasion, Yakalish didn't buy a ticket at the back post because the delivery from Andrew Naboot was very good.
Well, that is the last we'll see tonight, at least, of Tolgay Arslan. His number's been called. And Phoenix about to make a change as well. Lucas Kelly-Heald giving way for Sam Sutton. That's a like-for-like change. And Nick Pennington on as well for David Ball. I said Tolgay Arslan was coming off. See, that's where you get confused by the board. It was the Wellington number 10. And it's going to be Callum Talbot.
Well, I'm not surprised to see Callum Talbot struggling a little bit with cramp. He's got through a mountain of work tonight at both ends of the pitch. He really does put a shift in for his side.
So Terry Antonis is going to be his replacement. He's proved to be something of a goal fiend in recent weeks. Terry Antonis, 3 in his last 7 matches. Although Phoenix are one of 3 clubs he's never scored against. Maybe he's about to put that right. But yet, Callum Talbot, a good outing for him today. He's one of those Ollie Roos hopefuls, of course, Mossy.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's done a magnificent job since he's moved. Obviously, Sydney spent some time at Sydney FC, and elsewhere looking for a permanent opportunity, and he seems to have taken it with both hands.
Good high press from Tolgay Arslan. Oops, Sadati, Tim Payne. He's stolen about 10 metres there as well. And given the ball away. Jakalic. Barbarouses chasing back. And it's going to be a free kick right on the edge of the box. That looked, I have to say, shoulder to shoulder at first glance. Alex King had other ideas. And Jakalic, of course, wanted a penalty. Let's have another look at it. Well, I don't know how Barbarouses can get pinged for a foul for that.
No.
If anything, it's the other way.
Exactly. First
he's got booked for it too.
He's got the yellow card.
Maybe for the complaints, in fairness.
Look, I have to say Alex King, on the whole, has had a good game tonight. I think he's got that one wrong.
And Phoenix will complain even more loudly if this leads to a second goal. All of 2 guarding the near post. Tolgay Arslan about to deliver the free kick for Melbourne City. And the wall does the job. Ben Old sees it behind for a corner. And they're in no great hurry to take it. Shorter goes. This is how the goal came about. This time Phoenix perhaps wise to it. Clipped centrally by Arslan. Headed down by Naboot, and Antonis will launch it towards Suprayan. And Alex Paulson came but didn't get there. And it needs that goal line clearance by Finn Sermon, I think, to keep it at 1-0.
Yeah, it was brilliant play from Melbourne City and brilliant defending Finn Sermon.
Here they come again. Caputo, of course, is equally adept in the air. That's the different option, I guess, he gives you. That ability to be able to go long. No way forward for Payne. Antonis. Fernandez. Nice touch out wide by Antonis. Jakalic. City making Wellington do a lot of running, and they've still got the ball. Antonis. And a foul. And a yellow card for Samuel Suprian to go with his goal, just to blot his copybook a little bit.
Look at that for a lay-off into the path of Caputo. Again, right place, right time, and a good finish, really, if not for excellent defending from Finn Sermon.
Phoenix beaten just twice this season, but is there Amy Park hoodoo about to strike once again? They've got less than 20 minutes to try and turn things around.
You can see the difference Antonis has made in the midfield as well, just some fresh legs in there. He's been on the ball a few times making things happen. Steve Ugarkovic dropping to right fullback in place of Talbot,
which is a position that he has played before. Now the chase is on for Costa Barbarouses, looking to attack and still going. Barbarouses leaves it for Ben Olds. The angle wasn't really open. Nuno Reis with the block. They scramble well there, City. Here's Rufer. Nice ball to pick out. Bojdar Kraev. Little wall pass with Barbarouses, all very tight in there. Won't quite reach Tim Payne. Wellington have a throw. All the way back for Sermon. Here's Tim Payne. Fernandez tracking him. Here's Kraev. Suprian at the near post. It'll drop for Altai. And just a routine save in the end for Jamie Young. It's going to be a Melbourne City throw. Vicente Fernandez is down with a bit of a problem at the moment. But he's not going to be the man replaced, according to our sources. As City prepare a double change. It is going to be a reintroduction to the team, I think, for Jamie McLaren, Michael Zapponi.
Yeah, I was going to say the mystery around Jamie McLaren continues, but here he is making his entry in the 76th minute. The official line from Melbourne City before the game was that it was about all these games they've got coming in rapid time. So on Tuesday night they do play against Western Sydney Wanderers, and will be revealed whether he starts on Tuesday. But the A-League's leading goal scorer in the history comes on now, and we'll see him. Harry Politidis wasn't due to come on, as you referred to, Simon, but it looks like there's been an injury there, and Fernandez might have gone down with cramp. He took some of the pickle juice. That didn't work, so Politidis was a late addition to these three changes that we're seeing. Tolgay Arslan and Max Caputo also coming off for Melbourne City.
Thanks, Zappa. Terrific outing for Tolgay Arslan. And Max Caputo did well on starting debut as well. Almost rewarded with a goal, but for that goal line clearance by Finn Sermon. So here's Harry Politidis, one of many promising juniors that City have, 21 years of age. Very much seen at the club as the long-term successor to the likes of Scott Jamieson and Geordie Boss. Meantime, it's one of the earlier changes. Terry Antonis on the ball to another one. Andrew in the boots. Antonis with the cross towards the near post. The boot felt he might have been fouled. Ugarkovic. Jego. City would love the comfort of a second goal. Given the resilience of Wellington Phoenix this season, Phil Moss, you would not bank against them pinching something late on.
No, not at all. I still believe Melbourne City need another one to put this game to bed.
Maybe Jakalic can provide here. Wellington a bit slow to scramble and get back in numbers. It needed that big left toe of Alex Paulson to keep it away from hungry strikers. Jego. Worked wide by Lopane. Jakalic has time. And the boot did win it aerially, but straight at Alex Paulson. And maybe one or two legs just starting to tire in the heat.
Yeah, no doubt there'll be one or two brains starting fatigue as well as we see the live ladder.
It would open the door for the Central Coast Mariners to go back to the top of the ladder. They play MacArthur in Campbelltown tomorrow. Melbourne City would move up right onto the shoulder of the top six, and of course the team in sixth, the Western Sydney Wanderers, are due here on Tuesday night. Real 6-pointer that one would be. This one still has a way to run. Sam Sutton making a strong burst forward. Alex King waited and waited and waited, then issued a yellow card and awarded the free kick.
Good refereeing. Waited to see if there was an advantage to the attacking team. Wellington played their way out very, very well. Sam Sutton's progress was impeded illegally.
Andrew in the boot, going into the book. That's Wellington Phoenix. They've got a home game next week against Sydney FC, who are in pretty good form at the moment. Now then, McLaren looking to race onto that through ball. He'd gone too early anyway. Flags up for offside. First offside of the game. Dug out by Ute. And Kryev, look, perfect weight on the ball. Barbarouses! Oh, we should have made it 1-1. A gilt-edged opportunity. And at one of his favourite grounds, Costa Barbarouses fluffs his lines.
Well, you would have put your house on Barbarouses finding the back of that. Look at that from Kryev. Wonderfully weighted through ball for a perfectly timed run from Costa Barbarouses. And I think Nuno Reis does just enough with the help of Jamie Young coming out to narrow the angle just to put Costa off. But just not often you see him fluff those lines. What an opportunity.
Such a good season, hasn't he? And that Wellington Phoenix will feel was the big moment. What about the ball from Kryev? Absolutely perfect. Alex King's allowed an advantage here, but Wellington have not done anything with it. Garkovic, the auxiliary right back, continuing the run and getting on the end of that ball from the boots. He is upended by Rufer. Who gets the card? Which is his 6th of the season.
He had a lot of ground to cover there, the Wellington captain, to try and come across in cover defence and get there in time. But he certainly wasn't going to let the Melbourne City player escape his clutches. Only one strike away from being right back in this game. Wellington Phoenix, they know that, and so do Melbourne City.
They have won just 3 home matches this season against Adelaide, Brisbane and Sydney. This would be a big one for them, with the Wanderers to come on Tuesday. Yakalish. Second goal would surely make it safe. Naboot at the back post, always leaning backwards. How much petrol do the Phoenix have left it in the tank? Tim Payne's got quite a bit by the looks of it. And his rugby tackle there by Yakalish. And it's all none too friendly. Alex King very quick to get between them. Yakalish is going to go into the bulk.
Well, I'm certainly not saying that retaliation is legal. It's not. But Yakalish can have no arguments. I mean, that was a tackle worthy of another code that was played at this very ground last night. And when you do it on Tim Payne, you're going to get a reaction.
Which is probably what he was looking for, in fairness.
Hook, line, sinker, no bait.
Wooten. And Pennington. It's a lovely switch for Payne. Harry Politidis standing his ground. Well defended by the youngster. Well, it's a bit of a risky ball though. Wasn't able to link up with Lopane. And the Phoenix are back on the ball. Pennington lifts it out towards Sam Sutton on the left. Pennington again. It's the stanchion. And took a touch on the way through. Wellington corner. They've not had too many of those this evening.
No, they haven't. And sometimes in these big games, well, we've already seen it tonight, haven't we? The set piece is exactly what opened the game up. Could this be Wellington's route back into it?
There are 5 minutes plus stoppages to go as of now. And to call that corner disappointing is probably a bit of an understatement.
It just sucked the oxygen out of everyone in that Wellington shirt and their supporters.
It's been a long wait for a win against Melbourne City at Amy Park for those Wellington supporters. 4,090 days in total. Is it going to be extended even further?
Well, one thing you know for sure and certain is Wellington aren't going to lay down. Always a chance. They will keep fighting.
Kraev, the use of the arm to control the ball. Melbourne City do win today, by the way. There's that handball. It will be officially their 100th home victory in the competition. 98 of those having been at Amy Park, if this one is completed. Used a couple of other home grounds. That's Going to be a free kick in a very dangerous position for City. Foul by Mohamed Altay on Alessandro Lopani. That wasn't a bad rugby tackle either.
That's right.
Anything Yakalish can do.
Yeah, no, Altay. An agricultural challenge right on the edge of his box. Cue the conference over the ball for Melbourne City as to who's going to get the honours.
Jimmy Jago and Marin Yakalish have emerged as the favourites. Alex Paulson's got a wall of 4. A couple of City players either side of that. And it is going to be Marin Yakalish who found a way through, but not past Paulson. And it must have taken a nick because it's going to be a City corner.
These facials tell the story, don't they? Tried to use a couple of Melbourne City players inside the wall as a decoy. Paulson was sharp, got his fingertips to it. Good save.
We're going to have a late change here for Wellington Phoenix, and it's going to be an A-League debut as Alex Rufer takes his leave for 16-year-old Gabriel Sloan Rodriguez. He's a New Zealand under-17 international. More on him in a moment. And turn this back to James Jago at the top of the box. And Phoenix clear their lines. And here is the young sub. He was born in Hong Kong. He's of Brazilian heritage. And his father, Jorginho, was also a professional footballer. He was teammates in his junior days with a certain Ronaldo. Not Cristiano Ronaldo.
The original, the OG.
other
Fantastic. Well, with a name like Gabriel Sloan Rodriguez, surely he's destined for great things.
He's got plenty of time on his side as a 16-year-old, that's for sure. Can he have an impact late on for the Knicks? Otherwise, they're going to suffer just a 3rd loss of the campaign and just their 2nd on the road. But they are leaving it late.
They certainly are, but you can't understate the importance of this next few minutes for Melbourne City and Aurelio Vidmar. If Melbourne City can manage this game out now and get the 3 points, it will do wonders for their dressing room, their confidence, their belief, especially given a big decision to leave the likes of Jamie McLaren, Curtis Good, Andrew Nabood on the bench.
We're told there's going to be 6 minutes to be added on. 6 minutes for the Knicks to save themselves. There we go, confirmed by Jonathan Barrero, the 4th official tonight. Central Coast Mariners no doubt watching on and thinking, right, tomorrow's our chance to go back to the top of the league. The reigning champions, of course, of the A-League. Sent forward by Young. This is Sermon.
What a spectacular run the Mariners have been on too, Simon, since that 4 from 4 losses to start the season. I think they've only lost once since. Jackson clearly just needed a few weeks to get his feet under the table, understand what the A-League was all about, but I actually think in some ways they're playing better football this season than they did last season.
We're getting very close to the AFC Cup final as well, of course. Božidar Krajev's gone down in a heap and rolled away in some real discomfort by the looks. Quite sure what happened there.
Well, it looks like he just fell awkwardly on that shoulder. Unless maybe he felt something as he was holding the defender off.
I don't think he fell on that shoulder, did he? The one that he was holding. Anyway, here's Payne with the free kick, which is not bad. It's glanced away off the head of Nuno Reis. Phoenix have a throw. And they've got to throw caution to the wind a little bit here. Sutton. Nice little disguised ball for Pennington. Tay prevents McLaren from getting Melbourne City out. This is Ben Olds. A little slip at a crucial moment. Now City could well get out. And the boot on the move down the right. Lapade. Beyond him is Jamie McLaren. McLaren goes for goal, side netting. And to be fair, he didn't really have too many other options.
No, he had to go for it, definitely. I think if he had his time again, he would have gone across the keeper rather than try and find the near post. But to be fair to him, he's only just come off the bench, so finding his rhythm.
Was actually flagged offside in any case. Jamie McLaren, here's a chance maybe for Barbarouses. What a timely intervention by Samuel Supri, and he gets a big hug from Jamie Young. Maybe strained the hamstring as well. And reaching for that ball. A hero in both penalty boxes, at least as it stands.
Certainly has been. His decisive goal, and he's defended really well tonight, but also the way he's played out for Melbourne City. I think he's been superb tonight.
Time running out for the league leaders. Can they find a late equaliser? Here's the corner. Nuno Reis, really good defensive header out.
Well, you're looking for a captain's knock. He's given it for Melbourne City tonight. Nuno Reis hasn't played a lot of football of recent times, as we spoke about. He has not missed a beat tonight.
Sloane Rodriguez back for Sutton. Time is of the essence for Wellington Phoenix. This is Ben Old. It's clever from Old. And there was some contact there from Antonis. Free kick. Pressure back on Melbourne City. You can almost sense the tension from the stands as they look to put an end to this 5-game winless run. Everybody up for the Phoenix. We're into the 95th minute. It's too close to Jamie Young, who'll take all the time he possibly can.
Well, that's 2 set pieces for Wellington in clutch moments, and he knows it. The first one hit the side netting from a corner, and that one from Poulsen has landed very comfortably and safely in the hands of Jamie Young.
But you think back to that chance for Costa Barbarouses.
Oh, it's a huge moment. Absolutely huge moment. And for a player in his form this season as well, you would have put everything you owned on him finding the back of the net. I'm glad I didn't.
There it is again. Beautifully weighted ball by Bozidar Kraev. The chance was missed. Still time, but not much of it for Wellington. That's a good tackle by Altay to win the ball back. Real good desperation, but not a reckless challenge to win possession. Here's Sutton. They've got about 30 seconds to run. Pennington's ball. Nodded back towards Wootton, who's playing as an auxiliary striker in the last few seconds. City stand firm. Pennington. They've got to try and find the angle and get the ball into the box. Pennington's done really well. Suprayan there. City desperate to clear their lines. Alex King's getting in the way of the Melbourne City players, and now it's 2-on-1, and the chance to finish the game for Melbourne City. It's Marin Jakalic, and he's missed it. Would you believe it? But it matters not. The full-time whistle blows, and those cheers of celebration are as much of relief for Aurelio Vidmar's team. A much-needed 3 points for Melbourne City, who end their 5-game winless streak and open up the Premiership race into the bargain. Samuel Cyprien with his first goal in the competition, with the moment that mattered. Phoenix defeated on the road for just the second time this season, which hands the advantage to the Mariners in the race for top spot. And that long wait for a win over City at Amy Park continues. Full time at Amy Park. Melbourne City 1, Wellington Phoenix 0. And that sets up that huge 6-pointer now for City, Phil Moss, against the Western Sydney Wanderers at Amy Park on Tuesday night.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a mammoth game, but credit to both sets of players this afternoon and this evening to put on a performance like that. A game of such intensity in these conditions is a real credit to the fitness levels, the mindset, the mentality, the tactics of both coaches. Very entertaining game.
Yeah, lots of chances for City. They found Alex Paulson in good form and a very resolute defence in front of him, but Samuel Cyprien found that one bit of space when it really mattered. Alex Paulson didn't really know whether to stick or twist from Tolgay Arslan's delicious delivery, and Cyprien did the rest. Wellington will reflect on that big chance for Costa Barbarouses late on, went through one-on-one with Jamie Young. But in the end, I guess Aurelio Vidmar will feel as though, on the balance of play, his team deserved that 3 points.
Yeah, look, I think they were good with the ball, apart from probably a cutting edge for the number of chances that they did create. They probably will think they should have had more goals, but they defended well as well.
Let's get some reaction then with Zappa.
Thank you so much. I've got the hero for, well, one of the heroes for Melbourne City, Samuel Cyprien. You were saying you've never played in conditions like this before. You've played all over the world, but nothing like this tonight. How difficult was that for you?
Yeah, it's difficult to play in this weather. So hot, 37, 38, I think. But we do the job. We start the game with good behavior, aggressiveness. It was important to win today. Bonus, I scored my first goal in Australia. I have to give now a big donation, but I'm so happy. I'm so happy for the club, for the fans. And we have to continue like this.
It was a wonderful set piece, something that obviously you worked on, because the reaction from the bench when you scored it was massive.
Yes, we were doing the week set pieces all the time, but honestly, good delivery from top guy. He do everything. I close my eyes, I put my hand in. A goal.
And of course, this is a big win because you're now a lot closer to the top 6. And you beat the top team in the competition. They're not an easy side to beat. They've only lost 3 so far this season.
Yes, it's the big win against Wellington. Honestly, Wellington is a good team. But now we take 3 points. We have to recover good because we play on Tuesday and the game come quickly.
Lots of rest and lots of ice now, eh?
Yes, good massage, good ice and good sleep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done. Sensational. He was fantastic tonight. Costa Barbarouses, thanks for joining us, Costa. A ground you know so well, but a ground that Wellington Phoenix are really struggling to convert results in. What is it about Amy Park and Wellington Phoenix, do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just maybe it's a coincidence, but we just can't get over the hump and haven't done for a while. Look, I don't think we're at our best today, but usually in this season we'd still, not get beat, and conceded off a set piece a little bit easy. I missed a great chance there. It happens, but usually, like I said, we don't get beat and we just stick in for the point, but not to be today.
You and the team have been in great form, so a small blemish on what's been a wonderful season for you so far. The conditions, did Melbourne City adopt to them better?
I mean, they might be a little bit more used to it than us. I heard you guys had a pretty hot February, which we didn't, but we can't use that as an excuse. This is our job, we're paid and we run around every day to do that, and we should be able to do it for 90 minutes, so we're not going to use that as an excuse. It was tough, but that's the situation we're in.
And still top of the table, obviously the Mariners yet to play, but you're confident you can still continue this great form that we've seen so far this season? Yeah,
I think so. This is a small blip, and if you really look at it, we've done so well. It's the first time we got beat this calendar year, so look, we just need to keep going. 6 more games, I think it is, and look, why not? Let's see what we can do.
Thanks for joining us.
Cheers, Zappers. Thank you.
Oh, we're off to the break with Costa Barbarouses. Plenty more coming up right after this. FA Cup quarter-final action this Monday, March the 18th, 2:20 a.m. That is going to be a beauty. Manchester United up against Liverpool. Welcome back to Amy Park, where Melbourne City were victorious tonight, defeating the Wellington Phoenix, and he was sensational. Back a couple of weeks now, our Isuzu Ute player of the match, Tolgay Arslan, he's got all of his kids and all of their friends with us here as well. This is your two girls and a boy you've got?
Two boys and a
Two boys and a...
Yeah, it's
someone who likes a microphone too.
It's the first time he was in the stadium.
First time in the stadium. What's his name?
His name is Luke.
Fantastic. Well, let's talk about your performance tonight, because we know you missed a few games through suspension. Tonight, outstanding. Was it difficult to sit out those 3 games?
Yeah, it was difficult mentally. It was difficult, but you can see I had good support at home. I had lots of work, and it's the best I can do. It's the best. It's my best is on the pitch as a father, of course, and but I love it to be on the pitch, and I love it to perform.
Oh, we love watching you play as well. Talk us through the goal, because that set piece was something obviously you worked on during the week, and it came off beautifully.
Yeah, we worked during the week. I hit the ball very good. Sam was on the right spot, and luckily, we won, and it helped us.
You were talking to one of the coaches who's responsible for the set piece. Is that something you specifically worked on this week?
Yeah, we worked on that, and it was a thank you for him, and hopefully the next games we can continue like that.
I think Luke wants a career in television. You like the microphone. He hasn't quite started speaking yet, but he loves a microphone.
Yeah, he's a lion at home, so we have lots of work with him, but it's fun. It's fun.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us, and congratulations on a fantastic performance tonight.
Thank you.
Tolgay Arslan, sensational yet again for Melbourne City. Here are our Tobin points for this evening. The Melbourne City maestro in the midfield with 3. Samuel Suprayen, who was the goal scorer, with the 2. And Alexander Poulsen, once again, was very good for the Wellington Phoenix with the 1 point. Geez, they have missed Tolgay Arslan, and we know that he's now back and he's ready to go for Tuesday night, where they take on the Western Sydney Wanderers. And that will be a massive game for the Melbourne City and Western Sydney as they try and fight for a top 6 berth. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from tonight, and there have been plenty of Harvey Norman highlights in this one. We saw the set piece worked on this evening. Samuel Suprayen said he just had to close his eyes and the rest was done for him. His first goal for Melbourne City, he took it beautifully, and Tolgay Arslan spoke about just how much they worked on that set piece during the week, and the celebration with the bench was sensational. A great delivery and a top finish for the first goal for Samuel Suprayen. I bet Aurelio Vidmar's happy with that. He's just about to join us now. Aurelio, as we're looking at these highlights, a massive win for the club.
Yeah, it was. We've been finding it difficult over the last couple of months, but the mindset was absolutely spot on tonight. Obviously difficult conditions, but our mindset was right, the intensity was perfect, and really pleased for the players.
Talk about the conditions, really tough tonight. Did you have to adapt your game plan when you knew it was going to be 38 degrees at kickoff?
No, we said we were going to go flat out, and when they got tired we were going to make the substitutions. So that was the plan, that's what we did, and it worked out well. So really pleased. Boys put a lot of effort and commitment into tonight's game, and it was an important win for us.
A couple of big